We have a difference of opinion, but to imply that there's some character trait that I'm deficient in when it came to you and I, that was very offensive to me. And for him, I told him flat out, I don't give a damn what you say. You take all the credit in the world for First Take forever. I don't give a damn. You're doing Undisputed for the last 6, 7 years. Still take credit for First Take for all you want to, because guess what? I wouldn't be on First Take if it wasn't for you. So you damn right you deserve the credit. What I want to know is, you said I stabbed you in the back. When the hell that happened? That's what I want to know. And for that, he apologized, and I've been fine ever since.
I hate what you two have done to sports television.
You can say that all you want to. I would say, who the hell are you to sit up there and say me and him? What about you? What the hell were you, living under a rock, teaching at Miami U? You were a part of it too. You ain't innocent.
I'm talking about all the imitators that you have birthed. All of the imitators that are all over the place, thinking without the journalism credentials that the point of all this is to turn it into an argument on television.
Well, I would take umbrage at what you're saying in this regard, Dan. Those people who don't have a journalism background, who don't exercise journalistic ethics and beyond, how are we responsible for that when our background is based on that? Skip Bayless was a journalist for decades. I was a journalist for decades. We come on television, and those ethics are applicable. The fact of the matter is that when I take a position, it's the same kind of position I would take writing a column. The difference is, instead of writing 800 words and being limited to that space, I get to talk for a few minutes on each subject. When did it happen that I ignored the fact that I was a journalist for the Winston-Salem Journal, the Greensboro News and Record, the New York Daily News, and then the Philadelphia Inquirer, before I went to CNN-SI and then Fox Sports and then ESPN? When did it occur in my career that I ignored the journalistic tenets that came with the job?
Oh, it's not ignoring them. It's that they shrink in the face of the need for the argument as entertainment. It's that Kellerman offers too much nuance, so we have to make it in the form of entertainment. We have to. It's not that it's ignored. It's that the journalism becomes less important. It's the argument. It's the sparks. It's the debate that needs to be carried.
Yeah, but where you're missing the boat, and I'm actually surprised that you're missing it, Dan, is that it's not about us. It's about the money. The fact of the matter is that somewhere along the lines, social media came into play. And even with YouTube, you have the ability to monetize your product. People look at whatever it takes to monetize those products, their product, and they prioritize that, and that dictates what they do. If you are a guy, if you are on social media, and guess what? You don't have to go to college, and you don't have to take 18 credit semester hours like I did each semester, and you don't have to get a bachelor's degree. And all you got to do is go on YouTube, talk smack, find a way to build subscribers and viewers per episode, and monetize your brand, and you get to bypass all of that stuff. And there's an industry that's been put in place that allows you to do that, and you've elected to do that just to get paid. How the hell is that Skip Bayless and Stephen A's fault? Or Dan Le Batard, for that matter, or anybody else? They created those platforms. It's allowed to be monetized. People see that has the potential to pay you more than a $75,000 to $90,000 salary working in newspapers. Everybody don't have space for you to do talk radio or a television show. So you figured out a way to do this rather than punch a clock, work a 9 to 5 in corporate America at whatever job you're doing. And that's basically been more beneficial monetarily to you. How is that Skip Bayless, Dan Le Batard, Stephen A., Will Bond, Kornheiser, or anybody else?
Well, I don't think entirely, right, that this category that I'm talking about is something that I fit in. Just because you and I have had a long relationship, I don't think we've ever had an argument on or off the air. Like, The argument is not something that I pursue. I'm not saying it's not good for television. I'm not saying that. I just know that the show that you did with Skip Bayless was one kind of show, and then the one you did with Max was a different kind of show, at least in part, and you've said publicly that you didn't like how Max wasn't interested in the argument, in the sparks as you were.
What I'm saying to you is this. If people want to watch Dan Le Batard, and they've come to know Dan Le Batard, they have an expectation of what they're getting when they click on the Dan Le Batard. And if you want to stay in business, you have to give the audience to some degree what they expect. Long before First Take was ever number one, PTI was. PTI with Mike Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser have been number one for 20 years. First Take's been number one in the mornings for 11. 9 years before we ever came along, 10 years before we ever came along, they were doing it.
So I should blame them. I should blame them.
No. What I'm saying is, no one said it about them. No one said it about Around the Horn, which was there years before we arrived. No one said it about Jim Rome with what he's doing, and you know how great Jim Rome has been. The list goes on and on. Mike and the Mad Dog. Mad Dog screaming good. Mad Dog been screaming since 1987.
You mutated it, though. It's fair to say that you turned up the volume on all of it, that there are more flames around what you guys are doing. Are you going to sit up there with
a straight-faced Dan Le Batard and said, I turned up the volume on Mad Dog Russo?
No.
Have you lost your mind?
On the argument,
are you crazy?
On Wilbon and Kornheiser, you guys turned up the volume. You guys...
Okay. What I'm saying is that I just named you a plethora of shows that existed before we ever came along. That's what I'm saying. We didn't create it. We saw what was there, and we maximized it to the best of our ability, just like you do. Stop. You'll go into what you don't like or whatever, and I respect that. You know that. But what I'm trying to say is that you ain't no innocent birdie in all of this. You've attacked many people over the years. Now, you might have had a platform where you're joined with dudes and y'all are not a debate show, so you're not debating somebody, but you've gotten into debates on your own show with people. You've gotten into arguments on your own show with people. I don't know if that former executive for the Florida Marlins will ever be in business again after the way you excoriated him because you were upset at the assets that he traded away. You have been holding people accountable for decades. And because you don't have somebody to volley off back and forth with, oh, you innocent? You're not. You're a part of it too. And I'm saying it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing because your intellect, your perspectives, and everything in between are very fresh. They're informed. They're not ignorant. They're not devoid of facts. The fact of the matter is you bring a fresh perspective, and there's a lot of people out there that want to be Dan Le Batard. So why are you tripping?
How do you?
You right here with the rest of us.